back to Greenlands, and it's a bit of a mixed one today. We'll be getting on to harvest in a bit, which is being done slightly differently, but as I was skipping through June, I needed to move some maize silage down, and I was half expecting this clamp to get stuck as soon as I opened it, which bargain, it didn't. But last time I had massive problems with the belts, so I'm skipping the auto load one that I have already, and we're going to release a couple of base game ones and see how they work and if they work any better. Because I have a lot of maize silage to move, and I want a reliable way of getting it out of the clamp and into the trailer and not vanishing like I think probably half of it did from the last one, which was kind of frustrating because we need a lot of feed. So I figured base game would be a sensible option for trying to test to see whether it's a function of how conveyor belts work at the moment, or if it's the modded one that I'm using. So yeah, I'll get all this hooked up and we will get some silage loaded up and taken up to the farm. Basically, after making the whole crop silage, there was nothing left to do in June, so just running through the month pretty quick so we can get to July and see which of our fields are harvestable, and we will get to that in a couple of minutes. So the rest of this video is the kind of almost live thing that I do, because it's allowed me to get nice and ahead on recording videos, and wow, that is ripping through that at quite an insane rate. Yeah, we may have another problem here. Let's see how it goes. So we have two problems here. This belt unloads incredibly slowly, and we need to move a good few 100,000 litres. And we've taken somehow over 300,000 litres out of the silo. Yeah. I'm going to stop it so that it's not picking any more up, at least, and hopefully it will all be there and empty into the trailer. So in fact, it is not in that one, it's in the little pickup belt. The little pickup belt, then we can see it's ripped a strip through the entire clamp. And you'll see in a minute, I'll jump into a time lapse. The pickup belt has got something like 300,000 litres of silage in it, and my fear was if I saved the game and left, it would vanish, because that's what I think happened with the other one, because it's only supposed to hold a few thousand, I think, not 300,000. So yeah, here we are, 360,000 litres of silage in this little belt, and this is a base game belt with nothing done to it at all. So hopefully this is something Giants will fix. Just to show you how long it took to empty, we started at 13:58 and the game is running on real time. Thankfully, I'm running this at 24 times speed, so you don't have to watch the very slow process of it loading the trailer. I've released another big trailer so that I could get some back to the farm, and I was going to just leave this running, but I thought it would be interesting to see just how long it took to empty. So yeah, I think 12, I think it was about 14 minutes in the end. Yeah, there we go, 14 minutes, and it's doing something funky now. It's not picking any up from the clamp, but it seems to keep refilling itself from somewhere. So I kind of called it quits at this point and returned it all. And I think what I'm going to do for getting the rest of the silage out is, because this is clearly broken, it's clearly broken and I don't want to lose more, I'm going to make myself a cheaty bucket. I think I'm going to make a bucket that holds about 25,000 litres, and we'll be able then to fill the trailer quite quickly, because that mechanic Giants is broken. Well done. You had one job. Well, they have a lot of jobs, so you know. But yeah, so that's what happened to the silage before. It all got sucked into, and in fact, we had it with the grass silage as well, and I caught that one and managed to add it back in. So there will have been some sort of introduction then I don't know what it will have been. This video is turning out to be slightly unusual because I've recorded some footage of some stuff as I progressed through June because I thought it was interesting, and now I'm recording with voice live, so yeah, it's a bit different to normal. We have some big things have happened. Finally, the poplars are ready to harvest, but we're going to leave those for today. I had actually thought that they were never going to get ready. I went and had a look at them and they were stuck at state 13 of 13, which really confused me because they have 15. So yeah, that was kind of a thing. But we have our grain fields ready to harvest now. This one, the strip of shame, needs another month, but everything else can be harvested. So that is what we are going to start getting on with. Probably will do most of the combining in what's left of this video, and maybe in the next video, or maybe I'll just finish it between videos. Not entirely sure there. We need to get the combine and the header out. I'm actually going to use this little glass for the header, just because the field's kind of tight, so we might struggle to get it on the combine with pulling it to the field on the combine. Does that make sense? Don't think it does. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. I think this is the first time we would have combined these fields because they were grass before, so there's probably going to be a little bit of going through hedges to get the header in the field, or we'll have to lose some crop. Still have crop destruction on, as I have found out with doing some other bits around the map. So yeah, maybe we'll just have to accept losing some crop because there's not really a headland there. I guess I could have gone down the other way, but and if I do that, I'm not actually going to be able to attach to the header, so we are going to have to go this way. Yeah, and we're still going through the hedge, but in the spirit of trying to play with a nod to realism, we'll do that. So yeah, we are going to lose a bunch of crop in the headland. Oh well. If this was reality, certainly around here, the headlands are really patchy anyway with crop, so not a big deal, I don't think. And realistically, this is kind of just going to sit in the silo because we're not actually... this is going to be fun. I might need to get a tractor over here to get rid of some of this stuff. Realistically, we are not going to be selling this crop because we will be done by then. So, yeah. But trying to leave the farm in a good state. So, yeah. Crash count +1, 2. Can we get around there? Yep. We're out. It's fine. A little buff out. We just get a little bit of teacup going on. So the contrast is pretty insane to me. This combine, which has been working on a pretty big farm, has done 4.4 hours. The combine on Maypole in 1 month of working has done over 20. So yeah, the difference between running a farm and running a contracting business, I guess. So having spoken to someone who sort of does contracting, it's not unreasonable that they get through kit a lot quicker. Okay, we want to make sure straw swath is on. We want to reset the precision farming information. So let's go round and do that on all of the fields. So I'm just going to clear the yield maps. So that one, that one, that one, that one, maybe that one. I'm not sure. That'll do for now. Let's clear that as well. Reset. I'm not sure how many of these fields we are going to get harvested, but and actually that's part of the same field now. So let's reset that and clear the yield map. Right, well, let's go. So oats for the first field. So I have some things to chat about with you guys. And this is really to warn regular viewers that there are some things coming which have a specific purpose and don't change the intent of what I plan to produce. There are lots of YouTube channels, and I get lots of recommendations for them of how, do this to get this, get hundreds of thousands of views or whatever. And they're often quite generic and quite hard to apply, but one in particular that I did watch, there are some things that I can apply, some types of video that I can create which will hopefully generate a bunch of views, a bunch of traffic to the channel, but they're kind of list videos basically. A bit like the favorite mods videos, but slightly different. So I just want to kind of pre-warn the regulars that those are going to happen, and if you don't want to watch them, just ignore them. They are purely there to try and bring people to the channel so they see them and they stick around, maybe, They are not going to be the in-depth things that I would normally do either. They're going to be quite light content compared to what I would normally do. And it's just it's a mechanism to try and generate traffic, as I said. So if you don't like them, ignore them. If you want to help me out, click on them and just, even if you haven't watched them, click like and leave a, generic comment of a reasonable length, because that will help tell YouTube that people like the video and they might promote it. Let's try and not go in the river with the combine, shall we? Probably wouldn't be combining that collection of weeds and crop, but hey. Yeah, so those are coming. I don't know when. I've got a couple of them planned. I just need to actually record them, but at the moment I'm focusing on getting regular content done and getting well ahead, which I am getting to the point that I am, which is nice. So obviously had 2 long weekends in a row now in the UK, thinking about when this video is going to come out, and I'm kind of getting back to normality here. 4-day week this week, obviously, which is really nice, unless I extend the weekend again. I don't think I will be, because I actually need to go into the office on Tuesday, which sucks. I haven't had any Mondays away recently, just with how, all the bank holidays. And so when I go away for a Monday, I pay for the hotel, and Monday nights, apart from Sunday nights, Monday nights are the cheapest, which is why I stay away on Monday night, because I'm paying the bill and I don't want to spend more than I need to, but it does make my life easier when I need to be in the office for more than 1 day a week, because it cuts down on traveling a lot. So I shouldn't be June before I need to do that again, because I have a work trip which is going to take me out for a few days coming up, and I have a few days off towards the end of May. So yeah, and then there's another bank holiday. So I think I only have 1 full week that I will be working in May, between some leave and all the bank holidays, which is really nice. It's really nice. As of when I'm recording this, I am feeling less exhausted, which is nice, and less frazzled. And it's maybe pointing to a few things, which I know and I'm really bad at actioning. So this morning we ran out of Monster. We had run out of Monster because Mrs. D has stopped drinking it, because she's trying to not drink Monster. And she just went cold turkey and stopped. I cannot do that. My brain is so addicted to that stuff. It is ridiculous. But when I got up, I just had normal coffee. And the anxiety that I've been feeling was much better. Since that point, I've had 2 cans of Monster, and I can feel the effects of it. So I was cutting down. I'd cut down to 1 can a day, and that had changed. I've known for so long that I need to do this. I think I need to bite the bullet and significantly reduce my intake of that stuff. I know how bad it is for me, and it is clearly having some negative effects on me. So I really don't want to. Life is so bad, it's so addictive. I have I'm trying to think of the right words. I have quite an addictive personality, I think. I get kind of really deep into things that interest me, and I think that reads across to getting addicted to things. I've never smoked in my life, well, like once or twice ever. You know, kind of the thing you do when you're young. I've never been addicted to alcohol. I used to drink when I was at uni, was never addicted to it. I've always, for so long, I've been addicted to caffeine, and I think it's the other things that come with Monster that really put me on edge. So, yeah. That was an uncomfortable realization this morning, which I then completely ignored and went and bought more Monster because it's bad. So, yeah, I think I need to address that, which is not going to be much fun for anyone. I've given up caffeine many times in the past, and I always relapsed, and it's always sucked. This is going to sound like I'm making excuses. High doses of caffeine are really good when my head is bad. Whatever they do to your brain helps reduce the pain in my head. It's not an addiction response, and withdrawal, I know what that feels like, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's a different kind of effectiveness. It's actually something that's recommended as treatment when you get really bad attacks off these headaches. But I also know that the withdrawal is bad. I have used supplements before to help with the withdrawal. This won't surprise you, I really geek out on nutrition as well as other stuff. I don't remember all of the names, but caffeine screws with some of the chemical receptors in your brain and alters their sensitivity and plugs some gaps that other things should fill. And there are certain amino acids that can help alleviate that part of the withdrawal. It's part of what the withdrawal is. And I've used them before, and I need to find out what they are again, I think, and repurchase them, because it would be good to not be hooked on that stuff. That's a cheery start, isn't it? It's a cheery start. Well, not really start, because we've been doing stuff for a while. I don't know how much footage I would have used from what I recorded before. So, yeah. I really just wanted to get to July. There were a couple of things that I did that I thought were worthy of showing you, and I've forgotten them. Did them really early this morning. The dogs woke me up super early, and yeah, I made use of that time by playing Farm Sim, as you do. Because it's fun. And it's a bit grindy at this point on here. So, and someone did, Beaker did comment on a video a few days ago about me potentially not having animals in the next series, which will replace this. And yeah, his reaction is kind of like mine, but animals on a large scale, such hard work. I guess the solution would be the robot feeder, which was on this map and I deleted stupidly because I didn't want to use it because I felt cheated. But actually, I think with large scale animals, a robot feeder is a very good idea. And like for the chickens, making the silos much bigger would have been a good idea. As it is on here, the cows get fed twice a day. The sheep get fed every day. The chickens were getting fed every other day. And the volumes of food are not small. You know, the cows, I'm mixing 250,000 litres of TMR every day. Now, I knew all of this going in, but sometimes, and doing it, you know, I think it's when, like with going through winter on here, when you have to do it for multiple months or days, it can get a bit grindy. So, yeah, it's why I'm considering having no animals. In reality, I think that's going to turn into a lot less animals, but we'll see. A few options floating about for maps. This is still going to be a few months before it's finished, I think. But a few options floating about for maps. There's the Oaks, obviously. Farmson Briscoe sent me a copy of Saxonthorpe, which is his next map, which is in development, and that's a normal size map. I think his aim is to get that on console. It has some really cool features that I've not seen on a map before, which are kind of local things to, I think it's another Norfolk based map. I actually sent him some things from what I see locally as well, to see whether he could integrate those in a similar way. So I thought it would be kind of cool. At the moment there is a lot of work still to do, but the basic structure of what it's put in, I think, looks really nice. So that's probably a long way off. There are some other maps being worked on that potentially would fit quite nicely with the timing. So yeah, no decisions have been made yet, and none will really be made until we're right up on finishing this. And yeah, potentially there may be a little gap, because we could just do more on Maypole, because loving that so much. Yeah, you might have noticed, if I haven't spoken about it in the intro, which I probably have, money's gone up a heck of a lot. That's from the BGAs running hard for a month. Plus, I've added in the auto milk cell mod. Because again, I was getting to the point where, you know, taking a couple of big tankers full of milk every day was getting grindy as well, and we don't need to really maximize completely the amount of money we're making from milk now. So yeah, have done that as well to kind of ease the burden, not the burden, it's to ease some of the repetitive tasks on here. That's a better way of putting it. I'm just trying to think about how many more months we've got on here in terms of gameplay. Been quite disorganized with getting stuff set up, as is often the case. Well, not case, the New Holland. We're going for the T7. I was going to lease the JCB again, but the T7's kind of been ignored, sitting as a fertilizer carting trailer. So I thought it would, you know, we should give it a run out and get it doing some proper work. Let me just get under the auger and we'll have a quick look at the harvest calendar and what we've got in fields. I guess it's more relevant. So we might make harvesting the grain into a couple of videos. We've got maize, which is going to be, should know these months by now. Corn's probably going to be August, I would guess. And then the sugar beets, which are going to be sometime in October. So yeah, we've got a few videos left to get made as we get through the work on here. I don't think we'll be doing another grass cut. We've got plenty of feed, and I do so much of that on every save that I think we'll give that a skip. You know, we know we can produce plenty of grass. We've got so much grassland, that's not a problem. We've got spare grassland because we haven't mown the area up by the megafield where all the trees are. The trees have grown in really well down there, actually. The first batch that we planted anyway. The second ones are tiny, and I don't think we will ever see those as mature trees. That kind of is what it is, I guess. We'll really pleased and not that we're going to get to harvest the poplar. I'm probably going to use a cheaty header to do that. It would be kind of nice, maybe, to give this guy a go. Maybe we do that. I don't know. I only think I've only ever used that once. But maybe we'll use the Anderson bio baler thingy. See what I feel like. We've got a forage harvester, so we could use that. I don't know. Getting through this field, pretty decent yield as well. Things we didn't do on here that I had thought about doing, and there are good reasons that I didn't do them. So I was going to plant a big vineyard over on the grass fields the other side of the hill. You may remember early on we brought them in preparation for that, and then I realized that you can't make money out of grapes, so I didn't do that. Let's get him emptied. And yep, so we didn't do that. If I'd used the mod to make grapes cheaper, maybe I could have, and we could have had that going on as well. That would have been heavy use of course play. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to run a large vineyard, maybe as part of something bigger. Not sure. I'm just curious as to how it would integrate into running a farm and stuff like that. It'd be interesting for a pig farm, because I think they feed pigs waste from grapes. So that could be kind of interesting as to whether that would work. I don't know if I think there are some productions that process grapes and produce pig food. Awesome, that's empty. Let's jump back in the combine. I need to do some parking of vehicles. I brought the truck has come back over from the other yard. Actually, that would have kind of been shown in the other footage, because one of the things that I remembered I was doing was sorting out the corn silage from over by the industrial BGA. So yeah, that truck is now down at the yard and doing carting of slurry for us. So, yeah, we don't need it up at the industrial BGA. So yeah, I think I'm going to make harvesting to a few videos on here. I'll probably do one run of baling all the straw at the end, because we don't need to replant these fields anymore. And to be honest, there's a few months before we could anyway. So, but there's 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 grain fields to harvest. The next video I'll probably get through the rest of those. That'll probably be a more normal video, I think. So we'll get the rest of those harvested. We need to wait until August actually to do one of them. The big field over there. So yep, that's a thing where I ended up patching in the strip of shame where the seeder ran out of seed and I wasn't paying attention. But that's fine. It's fine. It can sit there for a month. All the rest of the field can sit there for a month. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with. I mean, oats is not the highest yielding crop. This would be to go into grain mix, and I don't know what we've got in the silo actually. I was thinking, we've already got a decent amount of oats in the silo. We might once we've got some barley and some wheat harvested, we might start milling some grain mix as if we would be going into winter with it. I might try and do a better setup for that, so that we can have that running more continuously. It's quite a slow process, obviously. Yeah, See how we get on with that. I'm going to finish this field up and then we will call it a day, I think. Because that feels like a nice length of video with the other footage that I've got. That should be good. And it's a nice job done. We've got through June, got into July, first field harvested. So, and started quite early. And I think all the animals are, I think I fed them all. Yeah, although the dairy herd do need feeding again, and they need slurry carting again, so that'll be a job for the next, or before the next video. So, yeah, I do feel for Kartek for when he had 500 cows with Maize Plus. That must have been a real grind. Let's have a look at the, obviously we've got the beef that I've been grazing and then not being fed particularly. 20, 21, and they're all mostly about 20-ish months, so fed up they might be worth a decent amount actually, so it might be time to start fattening those guys up. I mean, realistically I think it's only going to take a day for their health to jump to max, so it might be worth feeding them, getting their health up and seeing what they're worth. I don't think actually there's any harm in keeping them for longer. Obviously the dairy cows are worth less. Most of them are beef cattle, so I might do that next time. I'm kind of curious as to what they're worth. I guess we've got 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. It's probably a couple £100,000 worth of beef there. That's kind of irrelevant when we're sitting at 5.5 million, I guess, but it's all cash, and by the time they've been fed up, that might double. So that might be £500,000. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe 2 more runs. If we'll get this in the combine, we might actually. Oats are quite a low yielding crop, so that's fine. Got a lot of sheep. I think we've just had, we had last month some lambs. Yeah, we had those last month. So, and the production, I think those are a few months away from producing more. So I'll have to move the other ones into the little pen at some point. That'd be a really good use actually for that animal cane that is on itch. I think it's on itch and Argsy demoed, because we could just walk them across then. It'd be really nice, wouldn't it? Have to deal with the big arse lorry. Obviously we would be using our sheepdog to move them, really. Yeah, that might be a cool way to do it. Just to get those moved nice and quickly. Can we get that last bit in the combine? It'd be really nice if we could just overfill it slightly. I don't know if so Modelish has a mod which lets you overfill trailers. I don't know if it lets you overfill combines as well. Because it'd be really nice to get like just that little bit extra in. And this is quite a patchy bit anyway with the tram line, so it might be okay. But overall, that's a pretty good yield. Pretty good. I was sensible to move the swath over so we can maybe hit it in one go. I think the header might be too wide for that anyway. Come on, please fit. Please fit. 99. It's going to be very close. Don't remember the capacity. Oh, so very close. Oh well. I don't even know if this is all going to fit in the trailer actually. Oh. So I've been watching bits of Mr. CDP. As I said, only bits. I actually watched some bits of Daggerwin as well. And one thing I've noticed is something that I generally try not to do too much of because I'm not a fan of dead air. They are quite happy to leave more gaps when they are chatting. So I'm kind of panicking less when I don't instantly have something to say, which is kind of nice. So that's full at 32,000 litres. And we can now get the extra tiny bit. And then I'll get that put in the silo off camera. I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Yep, if you're interested in any of those, there are links below, or there is the join button for YouTube. If you are going to pick one, pick Patreon, because you get a bit more. Generally, you get access to the multiplayer on Maypole for a start, and I get more, and companies get less, which has got to be a good thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. We got, what, 36,000 litres of oats. Pretty happy with that for our first harvest. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, comments, questions, or suggestions below, and I will see you next time.